What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Deck Talk Podcast. And we've got one episode that I'm excited to get going and have never had our guest on before. But if you see the two clowns that's down below me, we just got back from ICAST, and Pappy called me this morning and told me that his son was at football practice and they think that he tore his MCL. So he's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. So I was able to make a phone call. So we got Team U's with us tonight. But before I get going, we do have some business to handle. This episode is brought to you by Bruiser Baits, Firefly Marine Outdoors, YOLO Tech, Spear Point Hooks, Pro Line Baits, Joe Burns Rods, and Cornfield Fishing Gear. Guys, we have a discount code DECKTALK10. Make sure you go and utilize that discount code and at all of those and enjoy. But let's get to business. We have Stephanie Hemphill. I keep
Hemphill.
on say it again.
Hey, nobody can say it. It's all good.
Slap them around. Get it right.
So this Southern boy from Tennessee screws up every name. So forgive me, Stephanie. But
It's all good.
I just want to if you do not know Stephanie, you definitely want to check out her social media. She is really killing it on Sam Rayburn. But if you don't know, she is a mom. She is a veteran. She's also a guide. She fishes on, what is it?
The NPFL and the MLF Invitationals.
Correct. And so, but guys, she is a guide on Sam Rayburn, and some of the videos and pictures that she has been putting up has been phenomenal. I'm kind of jealous of her. So I was telling her earlier she gets to fish on one of my bucket list lakes, and so but I guess I can't feel too terribly bad with being at the back door of Gunnersville and Lake Chickamauga. So I guess I can't feel too terribly bad. but if you don't know, we do have her links and stuff in the description of the podcast. So make sure you go to them and start following if you do not know. I'm sure a lot of you already do. But with that being said, welcome to Deck Talk Podcast, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Well, thank y'all for having me on. I definitely appreciate it. You know, anytime anybody reaches out for these type of things, I always want to jump on it because it doesn't only help me, but it helps the people that are having me on too as well. And so I greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Anytime. And there's a couple things that I really want to talk to you about, because in professional fishing, you're one of like the big names to be with that's tied in with women's professional fishing. Where do you see women being able to, do you see like women fishing in like the Bass Pro Tour and in the elites in the near future?
I do, but I think there's a lot of things that need to happen before that. I mean, you know, a lot of people ask me, is there a difference between men and women? Really, there isn't. Fish don't know a difference at all. Where the difference ends up happening is a lot of women, you know, we go to high school, we go to college, we get married, we have kids, and our duty is stay at home and be with the kids. That's what our duty is. And usually the guys go fishing, and that's nothing against you guys out there. That's just what history says. And so I think, yes, it is possible, but it's going to take a certain type of woman to know what she wants and to go for it. And no matter what people say about her, rumors, any kind of thing, she's going to have to just put her head down and grind and just go after it. So I think it is possible, but it's going to take a certain type of woman to do that. And, you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah. And I agree, because I tell people all the time, like, fishing is probably one of the most level playing field of all, because fish don't care if you're 2 years old or you're 92 years old or male, female. black, white, purple, green, whatever. You present that bait in front of that bass, they are going to, I mean, you're going to be able to get them to hit. So it's, to
Yeah,
me, it's
correct.
the most level playing field. And I love to be able to see, I made the mistake one time of saying we had, Beth and Lori with two chicks in the boat. And I said something like, do you think that women are intimidated, not with being in a male sport? And I wasn't trying to say that
Yeah.
badly. And they're like,
Oh,
no,
I
it's
know.
not intimidating. But they said like what you said is that women normally when they get married, they have other priorities besides fishing, to where
Yeah.
guys can tend to go and have a guys' night and be able to go out and do fishing or whatever. And so, but I do love being able to um, see women go out there and just slay some bass. It is phenomenal to me.
Oh yeah, me too. Like, I don't care who it is that makes it there. I just want to see a woman doing it.
Correct.
In general, just grinding it out, getting out there and doing it. But you got to think about this. Think how expensive boats are now. Imagine if a man had one, the husband had one. Well, the woman needs one too now because she wants to go follow her dreams. Most
Right.
American families cannot financially do that. And
No.
so, unless this woman is probably single, has a really good job, has really good partnerships, it's really hard. I mean, let's just say this, okay? If you fish the NPFL, it's 32,500. You add all the travel, you add the Airbnbs, you add everything to it. You're looking at a 60 grand year is
Ooh.
what you're looking
Yeah.
at. That's not even including a boat note, any of that. It's not including any of that. So, you add two people, a man and woman, possibly doing it, because there's not a lot of men that's going to say, hey, go out and live your dreams. And I'm going to sit here at the house and take care of the kids. You're not going to see that a lot. Yes, there are some
Right.
wonderful men out there that would do that for us, right? But there's not a lot of you guys, that would say, okay, you go live your dreams, go fish whatever league you want, and I'm here to support you.
Exactly.
And I think that's what has to happen. But I see one of these college girls coming up right now. If she can keep her head straight and know what she wants and be so determined, like she can just taste it every single day, she can make it happen. And I cannot wait to see the woman who does that, because man, she is going to really make history and it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, and I think that um, with the college anglers and stuff like that right now, it is preparing them a whole lot better than like when we were kids, to be able to go out and be ready for a major tournament like the elites or the Bass Pro Tours and stuff like that. These
Yeah.
college anglers, once they leave college, they are pretty much ready to rock and roll with it. They just got to come through the ranks.
Most definitely. I mean, I agree with you. We didn't have these type of things when I was younger. Man, I wish there was high school fishing and college fishing. That would have been awesome. I wouldn't have went and cheered in college. I would have been fishing. I can tell y'all that now. But it
Right.
doesn't take away from the women that are my age that grew up fishing ever since they could walk, because we know
Right.
the same exact things. It's
Yeah.
just, we're at a different age group. And I kind of think that matters too, because, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm not embarrassed of this. I'm 43 years old. And yes, I am living my dream, but yes, I work extremely hard at it. Would I love to make the Bass Pro Tour? Heck yeah. I'm trying. Maybe my day will come. If God wants that to happen, guess what? It will happen. But I will give it 1,000% effort until then.
Oh yeah. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed watching um, you over the years, of seeing you kind of make that step and accomplish little goals and stuff. And I know that with, to me, seeing that you're working as a guide and then also doing tournament fishing, which I know that um, that you're going to be back on the tournament series here next year. And, but it's just, to me, it's just phenomenal to see the drive and stuff that you have. Kind of helps, because we started this podcast a little over 3 years ago, and I just wanted to do something to try to make my place in the fishing in the world. And I do like doing some tournaments, but there was a lot of drama, especially in the local tournaments and stuff. And I'm not one that's all about drama. So I stuck with YouTube and doing the podcast and stuff like that. But to see that you're going out there and you're accomplishing dreams that you've had is just hats off to you. So
Well, thank you. This whole guide situation, that's probably the most important thing to me right this second. I've always wanted to do it. I grew up on Sam Rayburn. I have fished it almost every weekend since the time I was 2 years old. And I was always scared what people would think, I mean, a female guiding, you know, it's all men out there, right? And I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, you're going to be judged for that. And I'm not saying in a bad way. Like, I will tell you right now, 80% of my customers are women. 80%. And what I get told is I want to go on a guided trip, but I don't want to go with a man. I want to go with a woman that's willing to listen, to teach me, and where I can be comfortable. And I absolutely love seeing that. Some of these women don't even want to tell their husbands that they're taking a trip with me. They just want to go out there and learn, and all of a sudden get in the boat with them like, hey, look, I know how to tie Alberto, or I know how to do this now. And they're going to be like, what? But that's what we do when we go out there. I want to know, what is it you want to learn? Is it you're there to learn? Do you want to catch big fish? Do you want to catch numbers? What do you want out of this trip? Exactly. So yeah, 80% is women for me. And I do have men that, have come back multiple times now. And so, it's just fulfilling to me. I absolutely love to teach. I love to teach kids. I just want to see the sport continuing. That is what I want to see, because unfortunately, there's a lot of drama in our sport. Drama always tops everything. Mm-hmm. You can be the best angler in the world, but you make one mistake. Guess what? That's who you are.
Yeah. They remember you for that mistake instead of whatever you won or anything like that. But that one mistake will defy you.
Yeah, unfortunately. And that's how it is, but I just really enjoy what I'm doing now. It makes me very, very happy. I'm very glad that I took that step. And man, I've been catching some freaking monsters lately. When you stay on a lake every single day of your life, you start keeping up where these big fish are. And, I really think it's going to improve my tournament angling too, as well, because the things that you find out about yourself, what you're mentally capable of, because you don't realize how crazy it is when you have somebody in the boat that's paying you and they have their certain needs. You need to make those needs happen. And it's so much different in tournament angling, because tournament angling, I need 5 fish that day. But what it's teaching me is giving me patience. Okay, if I don't get the fish that we need within the first 2 hours, I know I'm going to roll upon them at some point. Why don't we think of tournament angling that way too? Because it's just the same thing. Right. And to me, it's going to make me more mentally tough for what's to come. It's kind of training me, per se, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing, like, because I'm in the process of getting my captain's license, but I do not want to be a bass guide, because with the popular lake like Sam Rayburn and being right here at the footsteps of Chickamauga and Gunnersville, that there's bass guides a dime a dozen. And so, and I feel like my purpose for fishing wise is I love to be able to teach kids. I love seeing kids get out on the water. And so I want to be able to take kids out and be able to teach them to how to like find crappie, how to do bluegill, and maybe even if they want to, like, to even flay some fish up to where they can go later on in life to where they can feel comfortable about going and catching fish and being able to prepare that for a meal for them. And so, because how I look at it is, I'd rather have 100 people looking for me instead of me one of the 100 looking for one person. And so, and I think with you guiding and being a female, that it sticks you out of the crowd. And because I've been on boats where I've got buddies that's been guides, and they're just kind of harsh, and they're just kind of boneheaded about things, to where they're kind of set in their ways. And Well, I won't take you over here because I did catch a big one over here, but I also don't want to ruin my whole, especially if they know that you're a local person. Then they're like, nah. I mean, it's all out there. There is no, in which Jen and Dustin can put their 2 cents in as well. With nowadays with technology, there is no secret holes on any lake that is out there.
Now it's just the luck of the bite, whoever gets it at this point.
So, excuse me. I do want to talk about your faith because I know I've seen like on your posts and stuff to where you have talked about your faith. So, how have you been able to implicate your faith into your fishing?
Well, I can't always say I'm a perfect Christian. I have made my mistakes, and I'll be the first one to say that. But I do believe in God, and I do believe that God put us here for a reason. We all have a purpose, right? And we all kind of got to figure out what that purpose is. And, you know, um, I've always taught from a very young age by my dad. I could worship wherever I was because God made everything around us. I did not have to be on at the front seat of a church to do so. I could be watching the sunset come up and I could say a prayer right there just as easy as I could there. And I don't have to be seen doing those things because my relationship with God is between me and God. And I would love to spread that faith around everywhere, but you know how it is when you start talking about that kind of stuff. Some people don't want to hear it. I'm not one to ever force anybody, into anything like that. But I do have a lot of faith, and I believe that, we're forgiven and God's there for us. And if it's meant to happen, it will happen because there's already plans set in place for us. Everybody has a plan. And so we just got to do what we can do to learn from our mistakes and keep moving forward and continue to be better and spread the word.
Yeah. Well, Trace Atkins has a killer song about that. That it says, I'd rather be out on a lake thinking about God than being in church thinking about a 10-pound bass. So,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Yeah, I like thinking about
true.
10-pounders a lot. Not even gonna lie. I dream about it, y'all. I dream about fishing.
Oh, all the
Do
time.
y'all dream about it too?
Yeah.
Like, I will go over my whole day. Like at night, I will dream about my whole day, what I just did, and it will be just maybe a little different, maybe what I should have done. So
Well, and you guys have to agree, in order to do what we do, you have to be completely obsessed with it. Because what we do is absolutely crazy. We're out with the bugs. We're out in the elements. Like, it is absolutely insane that we do this for fun and we like it. I was really second guessing myself when we got off the plane in Florida. I knew it was going to be so bad, but you think about it, we put ourselves through a lot to go and do this stuff. There's a lot of standing, a lot of being out there in elements and being sunburnt, and geez, there's a lot to it. Heat exhaustion, like especially where you're at.
No, I know, but Jennifer, you catch monsters all the time, girl, all the
I tell
time.
people
You
that
know what?
Dustin catches that, Stephanie.
I think I've gotten down to where I'm specifically targeting the biggest because we fish by length. Since I'm a kayak fisherman, weight doesn't necessarily matter. I need length. So I have kind of figured out the entire, I don't know. I think I have a pattern on finding big bass, and I've paid attention. Plus I work in this industry. So I am reading, I'm studying, everything I do is teaching me something. I'm not sure how much I absorb because it's overload. But I think the biggest top secret, if I could give anybody any secret, it is to keep it simple. Fish are opportunistic. Keep it simple. Find something you love and fish the hell out of it. I mean, find something that works for you. And, we don't even fish the same. We get teased a lot. They watch us really close because
most of the time when we're fishing with the same lure, I'm catching and she's not, or she's catching, I'm not. It's the same damn lure.
Yeah, I mean, we can really, we are different fishermen. I didn't really become a power fisherman until I would say more recently in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I was always a finesse fisherman, and I feel like that's my roots. That's where I belong. I feel like you have to kind of finesse them, especially you have to learn that skill because we can always, beat the bank. But eventually, those fish are going to move out of there, and you got to learn some skill set to catch some of those fish that aren't on the bank anymore. Nebraska is frozen like 4 months out of the year. I don't know if you've ever ice fished, Stephanie, but it
Never.
is.
I hate ice.
You
I'm
would
right
think
there with
it's. You would think it's slow, right? You would think it's not. It is so much fun.
But you're not targeting,
Really?
10-pound bass.
Like, yeah, you would think that, it'd just be kind of like old school, like catfishing. It's just not. It's kind of great because you don't know what the hell you're gonna get. Like you'll pull something up and you'll get a walleye, and next thing you know, you have a perch, and the next thing you know, you have a bass, and the next thing you know, you've got a, freaking humongous, northern pike. I mean, it depends on where you go, but geez, I feel like now, you're getting to a stage where we're trying to win. I want 5 big giant bass. And I mean, now, the more you spend out there, just like you, the more we start seeing patterns. You start seeing the birds. You start seeing all the things that tell you where the fish really are. And the only way you can get that knowledge, I mean, I don't use front facing sonar. I do not use that. I might use it if I could afford it. But you better know some skill set before, if you're going to tournament fish and do that, because it's going to take a mixture for everybody to pull a win off anymore. You're going to have to, especially where they've changed the rules, you can only use it sometimes.
Yeah, the NPFL, they don't allow forward facing sonar.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love
we
it.
don't have forward facing sonar in MPFL. We get to use it one day in the invitationals, one day
I
without.
wonder
They do
how that
lock it
works.
up for one day. And if you make the third day, you get it back.
Ah,
And so, yeah, I like
it.
it, but I am one also that likes Mega Live too. Like I love it. That's primarily how I fish now. But they're
right.
also drawing our water down on Sam Rayburn. You can't really go beat the bank and go catch any kind of size.
Right.
Yeah, we can go do that if you just want to go catch some numbers. But if you want to catch any big ones, we're gonna have to go offshore, off the
Yeah.
ledges, underwater bridges,
Yeah.
secondary points, stuff like that, to go get you a big one. I'm a huge brush pile fisherman, and I cannot tell you how many big fish I catch out of brush piles this time of year.
I feel like that's their only. I mean, we all know that this time of year it's brush pile, brush pile, brush pile. If you're on a brush pile, it's too hot. It's hot in Texas. It's hot right now in Nebraska. Florida's under extreme heat temperatures. You're not. It's shade. I feel like we were talking about it down there. That was kind of the cool thing about Florida is their brush piles move constantly. Like I had never seen something kind of like that because there's a flow to it. Like you could see they'd have a brush pile here. You go to fish it again and look around and it was gone. I'm like, where'd it go?
Oh wow!
A lot of different things to see out there for sure.
Yeah. So that's one thing like we talked about with other guests that's come on was especially like Okeechobee. And with it being such a big body of water, like we would ask them like, how do you break it down? And they're like, it's hard. You just got to follow the bait because one day you could set a wave point on the end of this brush pile or the grass line or whatever, and then the next day it is gone. And so, that's when we were down at Roland Martin Marina, and I was showing them like 1 second there was a brush pile, and about 20 minutes later it was on past us. So
it's long gone. You could tell the fish kind of go from brush pile to brush pile. I mean, we get that, but not like that. I mean, it's still normal brush piles in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect them to like full on disappear and move off over the other side of the lake like that. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Matt Dillon says, Steph, tell us about that 9-pound slouch and the 8-9 that bent the shaky head. Matt, I was wanting to talk to her about that shaky head deal because that was crazy.
Yeah, because that was I actually have those made for me. And I caught that fish and I could not get the shaky head out of its mouth. Everybody said I used pliers, but I did not. I was actually on a guide trip during that time and I could not get the shaky head out of its mouth. So when she was doing the video, that shaky head was still in its mouth. Well, when I go to let it go, I'm like, I can't get this joker out of its mouth. Well, eventually I finally get it loose, but that's the reason why I couldn't get it out of its mouth, because it had bent the hook.
Mhm.
And I mean, it was a legit fish bend hook. I mean, it wasn't pliers, nothing like that. I had never seen anything like that before, not once. But
Yeah.
that fish wasn't going to come off because that joker
Uh,
was bent all the way around. Like it wasn't
when
coming off
I first
unless my
saw
line
it,
broke.
I was like, when are they starting to put circle hooks on shaky heads? Because that's what it looked like, was a circle hook.
Yep,
Somebody
that's
might be
exactly
on
what
to
it looked like.
something.
Yeah. And I was like, this is crazy. And I didn't really notice it at first. And my friend Amanda, she picked it up and she was like, look at this. Like, this is nuts. And I'm like, I've never seen that before because I mean, I'm using a 5/0 and I mean, it's a really, as you could tell in that, that picture, like that's a thick hook.
It was a thick
Like
looking
it's
one.
not a light wire. Like
Mhm.
it's thick. And so I was like, man, that fish had some stinking power, but it did. And then I go out 3 days later, 4 days later, and I go catch a 9.2. And so that next one I had was a 9.2. I was by myself. So that's a horrible video because I was by myself and I don't know anybody that can get a good video themselves with a 9.2. I just don't know. And then everybody wants to challenge you. Well, let's see the scales. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let me tell you, I may tell little white lies about look this and that, but I'm not like most people. I'm not gonna lie about my fish. Okay.
That's right.
Like,
That's
I'm not
right.
gonna lie. I don't have to lie about my fish. I get to go catch them all the time. I absolutely love it. Sometimes I skunk out. Sometimes I catch bigs. It
Me
all
too.
depends
Me too.
on
And
whatever's meant to happen that day. And I'm gonna tell you if
exactly.
I skunk. I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna pretend like, hey, I
Oh,
suck
you'll know.
today.
You'll
It's
know about
okay.
your attitude, won't you?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
because
it's just
I've done videos and stuff on my YouTube channel to
Mhm.
where I even showed the weight of the bass on, and I think it was like a 7.5 pounder. And they're like, "Oh, that's not a 7 pounder. That's not." And they'll argue with me, even with having the picture of
Fake.
the scale right there. No, it's not a 7 pounder. And I'm like,
That's
ever
how
since
people
then, I'm
are,
like,
though. I mean, no offense, but I'm never going to challenge anybody
"Mm,
on, that type of stuff because you can never tell. A
no,
freaking picture or video never does anything any justice to begin with. I would be proud if it was a 4 pounder, if it's a 9 pounder. Okay, I'm
oh
still going to be just as proud. And that's another thing. Kind of brings me to something that you probably didn't plan on talking about, but something that people have to realize is a 4 pounder for some people may be the biggest fish they ever catch because of where
yeah,
they live. Okay.
yeah,
Because that may be the biggest fish that's in their lake. Don't dog those people because that's the biggest fish they've ever caught. That may be just the only type of fish that are in, like, that's the biggest fish they have in their lake.
yeah,
You don't know where they're from.
mm,
So, when somebody catches a 4 pounder, go on there and say, good job, congratulations, because you just don't know what they can and cannot fish. And I'm blessed to be on Sam Rayburn where we have giants, and I'm blessed to be by Toledo Bend. There's no shortage of fish on either fisheries. And so you can't judge yourself by what I catch, and I can't judge myself by what you catch.
no,
So I think I would love to see a lot more positivity in that area because you just don't ever know where somebody lives and what they're able to
exactly.
do. They
I
may
mean,
be bank fishing for goodness sakes. Give them props because they're
right.
working just as hard as we're working.
And
That's
the
right.
thing is, social media has the ability to be so much positive about it. But people choose to be a keyboard warrior and just to try to stir up a bunch of crap. And it does not, I mean, it doesn't do you no good and it doesn't do the other person any justice either, just to go in there
Well,
and just start arguing with people.
Well, if you go to their page and you go look at their photos, they don't even fish.
Right.
Yeah. Most of the time, those are the keyboard warriors. Most of
we
the
have to
time.
remind people that every expert was once a beginner. Okay.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
single one of us. I think there's different levels of it. We live in an age where you can be we have to stress that to everybody that's listening because we all know that it's true. But we live in a world where you can be almost nearly anything you want to be. But it would be really nice to see people, encouraging one another instead of all of the negativity and stuff. We're just on the cusp of that because we're kind of newer to it. And so I'm just starting to get into this stuff where people are just starting to be negative. it will affect you. You do look at that and you're like surprised. You can't believe where people come up with some of the stuff. But I think that, now, I don't know. Now we've gotten to a stage where I think you don't really look at it and you move on because your growth path, I think, is so by far more important. And I don't look back anymore. I know that there's a lot of animosity because maybe you or I get things that maybe somebody else doesn't, but we work so hard. People do not know the amount of work that we put into it. I mean, and let's not forget, a lot of women aren't paid, nor are they treated or salaried like the men are in this stuff. Okay. So where they're getting a lot more than we do, or getting, certain things, and maybe we do get things because we are women. But I feel like at this point, um, we both can hold our own. We know that this is the passion that we have. I love working with kids myself. Dalen might be that beautiful young lady that's going to, capture all of our hearts. She's going to join the Husker bass fishing team this fall. So hopefully it's her, hopefully she
Yeah,
gets
that's
to be that
amazing.
person that grows and speaks for the rest of us and has that big platform to do it on, that you and I really didn't. We've built that ourselves. You've built yourself and I've built myself. Now we can, hopefully we can teach her. She can watch us and, take it to that platform and teach it to other young ladies like us, and hopefully, get some more ladies out there fishing. There's a lot of us. People don't realize how many there really are out there because nobody's really tooting their own horn. I do it competitively, so I'm only actually trying to whoop Dustin. I don't care about anybody else. I just want to beat Dustin.
Well, another thing, like I've noticed, because Stephanie, Jen and Dustin does my social media marketing for the podcast and stuff, and does a phenomenal job. And I don't know how they keep up with everything that they do, and let alone go out there and tournament fish and actually win tournaments and stuff. But I've noticed, we were talking about it at ICAST. Like, we met 4 years ago at ICAST, and then just the relationship. Now we talk pretty much every day, every other day, and just to hear the work that Jen has to put in it, and then I was able to relate it to like all the women, because if you're a professional women angler, you're out there, you're probably working 2-3 times harder than the guys out there just to be able to kind of have your foot to be able to stand on. And um, they'll look and be like, well, your social media is not big enough or whatever, because we've heard that with some sponsor stuff. And then you go and you look at some floozy out there that just goes out on a boat and tries to, it acts like they're holding a fish or trying to fish or whatever in a bikini, and has millions of followers just because they want to just show their body. And when y'all are actually out there just doing the work, catching fish, and I mean, y'all would probably come over if y'all come to Chickamauga or wherever, and we're fishing together. I mean, y'all probably wear me out.
That's right.
So
It would be the entire plan the whole time. We would whoop your
I know. I'll call y'all up and be like, hey, what do y'all have? And if y'all are being honest with me, it determines if I'm bringing out the red stick bait or not. So.
We're whooping them. We're whooping them.
One of the things I do on my guide trips, and a lot of people can contest to this, is I don't hide waypoints. I tell them, actually, let's say they're going to go fish the Big Bass Splash, and I know when that is. I will tell them, hey, mark this spot. I don't have a problem doing that, because guess what? If you know how to use your electronics, which is one of the reasons why you're out there with me, then you can find these spots just like I can. There's not one thing out there anymore that's a secret. Not one thing. No, I mean, I'm sorry. If you think you got a secret brush pile, and, well, don't be on my brush pile, because there was one guy that was slashing tires on Sam Rayburn because people were getting on his brush piles. And that is the dumbest crap I've ever heard my whole entire life. Because guess what? It's not your brush pile. You don't own it. You don't own the water. You don't own the land underneath it. So anybody can fish it. So nothing's a secret anymore. I don't mind ever helping anyone, telling somebody, hey, you need to throw this right here. You need to throw this color, into this brush pile or this underwater bridge or whatever. I don't mind. I'm not against you. You still got to get out there and go freaking catch them. After you're out of the boat with me, you still got to catch them at the end of the day.
Well, and we just told everybody, sometimes you get the same tools and you can't catch them. Sometimes that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, I can hand somebody my rod,
Me too.
my reel, give them
There
my
you go.
boat, put them right on whatever, and you still may not be able to do it. Or you may do better than me. You may catch that 10-pounder that I can't get to bite, but you
That's
may
right.
be able to get to bite because everybody does things their own way. And there, honestly, in fishing, there is not a wrong way. I hate when everybody says this is the only way to do this because there is not one way to do anything. There's
Right.
so many different knots. There's so many different rods. You can do anything and everything you want in this sport now, as
Yeah.
far as to try to catch fish. There's not a
Mhm.
right way. There isn't.
Nope.
Do what works for you and make it work. Whatever you're comfortable with, do that and get really, really good at it. You can't be
That's
an
right.
expert at everything, but you can be an expert at a few things.
That's
That's
it.
right.
Now, have you, like, with guiding and stuff? Um, have you been able to see, like, it's more important as boat positioning with guiding, to be able to help put on your clients on the fish, um, or does that still kind of? Because I know, like, when we're out there trying to catch, like in tournaments and stuff like that, boat positioning is important.
Yeah.
But how is it just as important with having clients on the boat as it is in a tournament?
Yes, most definitely. So what I do is if you want to come out and learn Mega Live 2. Okay, you're wanting to learn. I get you up there with me. It's very hard right at first to know like distance, and you've got a little area like this you have to hit. So how I teach it is I know I don't have to look up to even throw wherever. I pretty much keep my head down, but I tell them to throw right on top of me so they can see their bait. I will go ahead and reel it in real fast so they can see their bait going down towards that fish.
Right.
And that kind of gives them an idea, right? You do that enough, you do that enough, you're going to eventually start getting it. So a lot of times I usually only take one person. Sometimes I will have two in the boat with me. So when you have that second person in the back of the boat, boat position is a really huge thing because you want to give everybody an opportunity. But I'm going to say if you do have two people in your boat other than yourself, using forward facing sonar is hard to do because not everybody's going to catch fish. A lot of time we're targeting certain things, like I said, brush piles, rock piles, underwater bridges, stuff like that. We have a target. I like to face that target. I want to give us the best opportunity to catch that fish and to be able to get that fish in. So when you have three people, it's a little bit difficult. I like to fish more points, things like that with the Carolina rig, a jig, maybe a crankbait, give everybody the same opportunity. But now people are really just wanting to learn how to do this offshore stuff. They want to know how can we find them? How are you finding them? What are you looking for? And so that's most of the time what I'm doing. And I probably enjoy doing that more so than catching numbers or big fish or anything because they're walking away actually learning something that they can use on their own
Right.
versus catching one big fish. What did that actually teach you? Something to brag about? I mean, yeah, you can tell everybody how you caught it, but what did you learn from catching it? How did you catch it? Why were we fishing that spot? That's where I want to see somebody, I want to hear somebody say, stopped on this spot because, there's a saddle right here and, the wind was blowing through and blah, blah. I want them to tell me why. And to me, that's more helpful than anything else because you can carry it on and do the same exact thing you did that day on other fisheries.
Exactly. Now, have you ever done? Because I do this when I have people out on my boat and we're fishing, and like they'll catch a fish. I'll wait like 5 minutes down later, and I'll say, "All right, now what did you do to catch that fish?" Because I want them to remember like the cadence and stuff that they were using, because that's important. Because it might just be that cadence that they're using that the fish are only hitting on instead of what I mean, because that can make a difference in between you catching fish and I'm not catching fish, because
Yeah.
not two people are going to have that exact same cadence at each time going out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, all that kind of stuff matters, but you got to look at everything, man. Water clarity, is there wind? Is it bluebird skies? I mean, there's so much that goes into all this. And I can tell you, as soon as I pull up, to the lake that day, I already know how it's going to be that day all day long. I can tell you how much the water's dropping, what the wind's going to be. I already have a plan for that whole entire day. And I like to tell people, you don't ever just go out without a plan. You got to have some sort of plan,
Exactly.
unless you're fun fishing. I mean, heck, I'm a shallow water fisherman at heart. I'm not even going to lie about it. I love throwing a frog. It's probably my favorite thing ever to throw. And, but a lot of that is we don't have on Rayburn right now, as I've seen, but I'm fishing more so by the 147 bridge around that area. No pads, no anything like we usually have because the water's dropping. But at heart, I'm a shallow water fisherman. So when the forward facing sonar came out, I was reluctant to ever even try it. I'm like, this is cheating. I don't like it. I was on that whole bandwagon. But after you get beat so many times by something, you're like, okay, I got to pick this up because
Mhm.
there's no hope for me in the sport if I don't pick it up
Yeah.
because this is what it's gone to. I mean, look at all our baits. I wasn't even at ICAST, but I know what Z-Man came out with. I am with Z-Man, so I know what they came out with, and a lot of it is dedicated towards forward facing sonar. That's what everything's going to. And y'all said there was a lot of people from overseas that was at ICAST, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I didn't even see it, but I bet is a lot of forward facing sonar baits.
A
Most
lot.
likely.
And the thing is the fuzzy dice. You could
Hmm.
not walk. Every other booth had a fuzzy dice, something equivalent to a fuzzy dice. It was crazy.
That's just
So,
what it, I mean, that's just what it's going to now. I still throw a big plug. I mean, I still throw those. I still throw those a lot. I mean, those are still good. Just because we're throwing on forward facing sonar stuff does not mean that a big crankbait is still not good. You can
yeah,
still pick up the same baits you've been picking up for the last 10 years and catch fish. It's not that the fish don't want them anymore, it's that we move on to other things and we get in a habit of stuff. And then we're like, oh, they're not biting this anymore. No, you're just not picking it up anymore.
yeah. So we got a question from the traveling fisherman. I don't know if you know who that is,
I
Stephanie.
do.
He says, "What is the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome fishing professionally?"
Wow, my brain. My
That's
brain
a good
sucks
one.
sometimes. I mean, your brain gets in a way a lot of times. You got to make the right decisions on the water, and if you go 3 hours without a bite, you knew in practice that you were going to catch them right there. It starts getting to you. I'm just telling you, start fishing different. You start fishing faster, or too slow, or you stay too long. I'm going to say it's the thought process. I think that's a lot of tournament anglers problems. I think the people that are mentally tough are the ones that are always on top, and you got those certain ones that are always on top because that is how they are. I'm not taking away the fact that they're amazing fishermen. We're not there because we can't fish. We all can fish.
Mhm.
What makes us different is, are we mentally tough or not?
Exactly.
Can we play the game? I mean,
And
there's the way to play it. I'm sorry.
exactly.
Some people go for just a check, but there's some people that go to win, and you should never go for just a check. You should go to win. That is why we do this, is because we want to win. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole reason.
Have let's see. Matt Dillon says, "Steph, have you ever had a cottonmouth almost in your boat?"
I have had them in my boat before.
I Matt, I will tell you, it is no fun having them in the boat, especially
No,
when you have somebody that's afraid of them.
I'm
So,
scared. No, I wouldn't like it.
what in the next 5 years, what is your goals that you have set for the next five, maybe 10 years?
well, this next year I'm going to fish the MLF Invitationals. I'm not going to fish everything that I fished this year. It was entirely too much. I'm going to just say I was overly worked this year. I was,
Right.
and I'm taking a break for the rest of the season. I am doing some charity stuff. I have a family member that's really sick right now, a close family member, and so I got some other family stuff going on too. So at the time, it was good for me to step back for the moment. But I'm coming back fishing the Invitationals next year, and I'm really excited about that. I really don't really do a 5-year plan because life changes so quick. You don't ever really know what's going to happen. So
Right.
all I can say is this is what I'm going to be doing next year. And, I'm definitely looking forward to it. MLF and the NPFL has treated me very well. But they do expect you to come and work and to carry yourself in a certain way. And, I'm just really looking forward to the future and what my guiding has to bring, because I can tell you right now, is changing my whole thought process a
I
whole
just
lot.
love that women come. I love that it's women and that's your biggest client. Like I would
I
never
absolutely love it
know.
too, girl. I have made such good friends, from this that I never would have met if I was not doing this. And, it's such a blessing. It really is. And I'm getting to do what I love every single day. Am I saying every hour of every day when I'm guiding's great? No, sometimes I'm scrambling too. Sometimes in the middle of the day, it's hard. But I know I'm going to find them,
Right.
at a certain point. I need them to also have trust in me that I'm going to find them too as well.
Right.
But it's incredible how big this sport is and how many people absolutely love it. And when you start figuring that out, we're all blessed to even be here. We really are.
Exactly. So Brian Morgan says, "What glides do you like?"
I really don't hardly ever throw a glide bait. Hardly ever. And then there's a really good reason for it. It's not that I don't like them, but I had shoulder surgery about 3 years ago, and I had a really bad surgery. So, uh my ACL was completely trashed. I had torn my biceps, and they also cut 1.5 inches off my clavicle. So a lot of those type of things, I can't throw a lot because of that. And I'm just fine because, man, I'll pick up my jerk shad, my Senate jerk shad by Z-Man, the 3.5 inch. I'll pick that up and do the same exact thing with it. If you don't think they won't bite a 3.5 inch, you're freaking crazy, because one of my big fish came off of that. So
Right.
they will eat it up. I will dangle it over that brush pile and you'll just see them come out.
Don't
Oh,
tell
there's
everybody
nothing
about
better
that
than that.
jerk bait bite.
Like,
Don't tell everybody about that jerk bait bite.
oh yeah, yeah. I like a jerk bait also, but I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it, it's just like I keep saying, we're all extremely blessed to be out there and be doing what we love every single day. And so when I wake up in the morning at 3:45, knowing I have a trip that day, I put my feet on the ground, and yeah, I may be tired and I may have already had 2 trips before that, but I don't know who I'm going to meet that day. Well, I know they already planned a trip with me, but you never know who's going to be in your boat and what
Right.
you're going to learn from them. Heck, I learn things from people all the time. And
I
if
do
people
too.
think they know everything, no, you can always learn from everybody you meet, every
Right.
single person.
And
Me
my
too.
grandfather told me the day that you think that you know everything about a subject is the day that you need to get out of it.
Yeah, Brian Morgan, he's asked me, do you like the Evo or the jackhammer? Honestly, I like both. I've caught some freaking giants off the Evo. I've also caught giants off the
Fun.
jackhammer. They're a lot alike. They're very similar in a lot of ways. The hook's a little different. But they're a lot alike in a lot of ways. So either that you decide to choose whatever style you like, they're both great. The mini that we have too is amazing, especially for smallmouth fishing on Pickwick and that current. You can't go wrong by any of those ever.
Right. Now, fishing Sam Rayburn mainly for you. What lakes does it compare to that you have fished like on tournament trails?
Mm. I don't know. Toledo Bend's similar, but fish is different at the same time. Trying to think. I would say Fork's a little bit like it. But there's not a lot of lakes that are a lot like it. I think that's one reason why I like Eufaula, Oklahoma so much, because I get to go fish brush piles like I would on Sam Rayburn. I'm kind of looking for the same exact type of stuff. And so I think
Right.
that's why that lake fits me a whole lot better. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot out there that's just like it. I always say each lake has its own type of things, that are totally different from every lake. And like I said, I mean, Toledo Bend's pretty close, but it still fishes different. You
Right.
can't go fish. It's funny because some of the Toledo Bend, guides will come over to Rayburn and guide, because to me, Rayburn's easier. Toledo Bend's a lot harder to guide on. And so props to anybody that can go over there and freaking jack them.
So,
Congratulations.
so do you do you like fishing like a highland reservoir, or do you like a river system like the TVA or something like that? Something that does have a current.
Man, I like all the above. I like anywhere where you're going to take me.
Yeah.
So, when the
Wherever you
schedule
go.
first comes out, the invitational schedule just came out, and I'm like, this is a good schedule. And it's not that it's a good schedule or a bad schedule, but you can always look at a schedule and be like, okay, this fits me really well. Right. But I've also had, success at some of those lakes, and that's always going to be in your mind too, which sometimes can actually hurt you because your expectations will be up here and you may come down here and you're like, what the heck happened?
Right.
But, it's wherever you send me, I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I enjoy fishing my home lake. I'm going to make the best out of it, try to figure it out, and keep on rolling.
Yeah. So, the traveling fisherman says, what advice would you give to an aspiring young female angler who dreams of going professionally?
I would say start at the club level, start there, get your grounding there, then go up to BFLs, go be a co-angler for a little bit, learn from the people you're fishing with, because you can have some really good draws in the BFL. There's some freaking hammers that fish that, but you're also going to get some people that can't fish very well, and they may be learning from you, but go do that. Then once you're ready, get you a boat, start fishing BFLs by yourself, and then things may not be perfect at first, and it's okay. Just have those little goals set for yourself. Like, I want to be in the top 50 for this tournament, or I want to finish the season in the top 50. Let's try and make regionals. Have those little goals for yourself. Don't make them so big to where you can never reach them, because sometimes it takes years for people to reach their goals. And if you make these crazy goals and you don't ever reach them, you're going to be upset with yourself, and it's going to make you not want to do it. Because believe me, I've had very, very tough tournaments, and I put my head down. Nobody will hardly ever see me cry. If I do, it's going to be where nobody will ever see me. But, I have to have my own time, 24 hours, to let me freaking get over it and lick my wounds. And they need to learn that too, because not everything's always going to be perfect. Once you go from there, go fish the Toyotas. Do a step up, go see how you do there. Once again, it may not be great at first, but it eventually will, because a lot of people get their teeth beat in so many times. They're going to learn from that. You're either going to learn or you're going to quit. So you got to be so mentally tough that nothing anybody can say or do will ever even bother you. Know what you want and freaking go for it. Just go for it.
We need to clip
There's
that.
nothing
I don't think
stopping you but
people
yourself.
realize how short. Well, I don't think that people realize how short life is. You guys were already in our 40s. It's now or never. I mean, we're not here long enough to even, you if you're going to do it, you're going to have to grind. And I feel like when you love what you do, it makes it a lot better. So find something you absolutely love. It doesn't have to be what we do, but you find what it is and you shoot the moon. I mean, you have
Yeah,
to.
fulfill your
What else?
life. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I realized, and I don't know why I just realized this, y'all, that I'm
I
in
thought
my
about
second
it
half of my
too.
life.
That's what we
Like, I
thought about.
just realized it. I was like,
We did
holy
too.
cow, I'm in my
Did
second
too.
half.
Yeah.
Huh?
So we
We
got
we thought the same thing.
And it's flying.
It's
Time's
flying.
yeah.
I know. Like, where? I don't know where it goes.
We got Jerry Russo, which he commented earlier when we was talking about Florida. He said that the hurricanes move our brush piles.
Okay,
Um,
that makes
So,
sense.
and then he says the people who run the NPFL are great people, and I was impressed to get to know them. What do you think is the reason the NPFL has not grown and the numbers have dwindled a bit?
Um, I'm very reluctant to answer that question. I have my own opinions, which, I will never talk. I'll never talk bad about anybody ever. I feel like there are a lot of elite guys on there now, and props to the NPFL for getting the elite guys on there, because it's amazing. It is bringing up numbers and stuff, but it's making it very hard for us, everyday fishermen to compete. And that's not saying anything bad, because they freaking have a awesome organization. They run it. I mean, it's great. Never had a problem. And this is only my opinion, man. I love fishing against the elite guys. I mean, bring them on. Just because they fish the elites doesn't mean that they're going to do well at every single tournament. They still got to fish just like I do. They still put their freaking pants on just like I do, every single day. But
Yeah.
I think to a person coming in, I think that's like, wow, I have to go fish against, Swindle. Holy cow, I don't want to go fish against him. He's much better than me. I don't want to go pay $5,200 a tournament just to go get my butt whooped. I'll say this, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money
Okay.
almost for anyone. And now you got to get the sponsor dollars to, cover that. And some people can't. I feel like the fishing industry is overly saturated with people all trying to get the same exact thing. And, you put us in on a media kit, a resume, whatever, and you can put us all side by side. Well, this person's done this. And, now it's about your social media, right? Like you got to have certain numbers and you got to have certain amount of views, but it's just making it real hard for the weekend angler, just the everyday average angler to fulfill their dreams because everything's so expensive. Like everything's so expensive. And they look at it as, if I'm going to spend this much money, I at least want to compete against people that I think I can compete against. Right. I mean, the elites are elite for a reason. They made that. They worked their butt off to get to where they're at. I will never discredit any of that, but I can see where some people would be like, oh, I don't want to fish against them. They're way better than me. I'm just going to throw away my money.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. And like I said, props to the NPFL. They have been nothing but fantastic for the last 3 years, and I will always admire that.
Well, I mean, I've always been told to improve yourself, you got to be the low man on the totem pole because eventually you're going to pick up what they are doing. And especially I was playing baseball and stuff like that. Like I've always tried to play up and stuff when I was playing just because it improved me to make me a whole lot better. So it's the same thing will go for fishing. When you have Gerald Swindle or you see that you're going to a shallow water fishery and John Cox is there and you're like, oh,
Yeah, and John Cox is a freaking beast, like a beast, shallow. Like I'd still wonder, like, how does he do what he does sometimes?
yeah,
I grew up fishing shallow, and I can't do what he does.
The same dates that he does. So,
so what has been the biggest thing that you've learned with doing guiding?
Man, everybody is totally different. Their needs are totally different. Nobody shows up with the same needs. Some can't hardly fish at all. Some can fish better than me, but they need to learn their electronics. I mean, everybody is different. So open up your ears and try to listen to them. Listen to what they want because like I said, everybody's different. Be a people person. Be inviting. Don't try to keep all your spots a secret because who cares? They're going to find them eventually anyways. I mean, help them as much as you can and listen because it's kind of like here's what I put it kind of towards. Okay, us women, we get our hair done. We go sit in that chair and we sit there and talk to our hairdresser and we tell them all our problems and everything. I don't know why us women do those things, but we do. It's almost the same way in a boat because you'll get in all kinds of conversations throughout that day, and not only you sit there and listen, but you add to the conversation and you bring something a little extra to their lives, and it's not just fishing. So just be open-minded.
I don't
Is all
know
I
if I
have to
went to
say
the
about
same barber as you though.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, the conversations is get in, get out, and get out of my way.
Yeah, well, us women, we'll have a whole conversation while we're sitting there and, hey, how are you doing? Well, this happened and such, blah, 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 but I mean, it's not a lot different than, being in a boat, right? I mean, you'll talk fishing so much, but then, you got kids, do you have this, and it gets into all kinds of different stuff. But like I said, everybody's needs are different. You kind of figure out what those are before you ever even go out there. And, I can sometimes put you on big fish. Sometimes I'll put you on a lot of fish. It depends on what you want. But if you expect big ones, you may not catch a lot that day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is.
I'm always super thankful that I have some girls like you so that I can actually, because you have to tell people our feed is not like normal people's feed. It's us and then it's 90 million men. Okay. So when I see that you get your hair done, I'm like, oh yeah, she got her hair done. It's time for me to get my hair done. So we don't have a lot of men
get
on
my
our
hair
team.
done. I'm still a woman. At
Me
the end
too.
of the day, I'm still a woman. Yes, I
Me
fish.
too.
Yes, I do a lot of guy things. Okay. I don't do a lot of female things because I'm
I
a
don't
huge golfer on top of that, which that is a man and woman sport. And I absolutely love to
Right.
hunt.
I do
And
too. I do too.
yeah, so I mean, I was raised by my dad telling me I could do whatever I wanted to do to make it
That's
happen.
right. Yeah.
So to me, that's not weird. And that's one reason why I love coming on podcasts like this that support women in fishing, because I just want all of them to know anything's possible. And there's nothing
right.
wrong with you having a husband and having kids and eventually doing this later in life. There is nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Some people are in a hurry to do things. Some people it takes a lot longer, as long as you just try
that's right.
eventually. That's it. And don't be scared. And if for some odd reason you want to try and you're like, who do I talk to about this? Please reach out to me. Please. I would absolutely love to hype you up, tell you kind of how it is, and, help you out in any kind of way I can, because we kind of got to be for each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of us. I mean, there are some, but, there's not a lot. And I would absolutely love to see a lady make the elites or BPT. I would love to see
And
it.
I think, I mean, just like what we was talking earlier, I think it's literally just right around the corner that something's going to happen. And I don't, it's not that I can say, well, this is the angler that's going to do it, because there's quite a few lady anglers right now that is putting the hammer down.
But they're going to have to start fishing the stuff to make it there, though. That's the whole thing. The only way you can make it is through the Bassmaster Open or the MLF Invitationals. And you're not seeing a lot of women fish either one of those. I'm the only woman that's fishing the Invitationals.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going to have to make it to that spot. So you're going to have to fish the right stuff to make it there. And in order to fish the right stuff, we can't be scared. We're just going to have to go for it. I'm not saying that being scared is what's causing them not to do it. There's multiple reasons: money, family, maybe the fear. There's all kinds of things. But I
and
think
just the fact that sheerly that we would be competing with nobody but men, right? I mean, I don't know. I've never really, the only reason I never fished from a boat is just because there was never any opportunity to do it. I think if I had had a boat, I think for us, I mean, we tried to get all four of us. Like our kids were sponsored. I thought that was winning. I was like, that's how it all goes. We've got the kids sponsor, we got us, but we did it through kayaks. Could you imagine trying to do 4 people sponsored?
Hey, there
for a
is
boat?
absolutely nothing wrong with that. You kayak fishermen are freaking bad to the bone. I'm just telling y'all. So
and I feel like
1,000% props to you guys, because my butt would fall out of that thing. I can tell y'all right
it is
now.
not the same. It is not. I feel like they have such new things and new technology. I mean, our boats, you wouldn't fall out of where we're at. Now you've got boats that are designed for fishermen like you and I. If Dustin don't fall out, you're golden. They do have a lot of nice things, and I mean,
that's awesome.
I feel like now they're, you're able to. It's not the same. Boat fishing and kayak fishing is definitely not the same.
No, it's not. It's not. I like to go fast. Okay. I have an addiction of going fast. So
I think everybody likes to go fast. As soon as we had our buddies take us that fast, like my eyes were crying by themselves. I was like, who the heck wants to? This is like, we lost a hat, we lost a couple of things. We're totally newbies. I'm so short that I had to hang on to the guy's legs so I didn't fly out like a popcorn ball. So, I mean, there's definitely, well, I really am short. What do you hang on to, I think it's a lot different though. I mean, even because you're standing up so much, I feel like also our kayaks can get back in the
most definitely.
Oh yeah.
Back of the boonies back there. I don't know. I had a wolf like howl behind me and I got the hell out of there. I was like, what the heck is that? I don't know. I feel like you're a little safer on that big boat, but I do feel like we catch some incredible fish off those little.
I know you do, because I see your pictures. They're giant.
I tried so hard. That was the goal. I want to win so bad. I finally
It's
won.
gonna happen, girl. It's gonna happen.
I finally won some challenges, and I look to Harvey a lot. He teaches me some skill set. Harvey's got some good skill set for me. I ask. I'm like, man, I'll have a really bad time. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what were you throwing? How are you throwing it? What were you doing? I
That
really
sounds
do
just
enjoy
like
that
him.
because it is, right? But he
Yeah.
does
Yeah. He
just
gets it from me.
fine.
He gets it from me all the time. I'll be leaving the lake and I'll be like, oh, this happened today, blah, blah, blah. So I hear it from him all the time.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
has been a huge part of any success that I have had. He kind of took me by the reins, right off the
yeah,
bat, introduced me to a lot of people and, you know, just kind of showed me really how I need to be competing. So I didn't just really come into this like just totally green, but this is my second time to compete like this. And, I did it a long time ago, 2009. And, I did say I'm 43. So I'm in my second part now, my second half. So,
right.
I just want to make things happen and make myself happy. That's the biggest thing is
Like it's
as
just a
soon as I
matter of
start getting
time.
so
We're gonna see
stressed where
you.
I'm not happy,
Right.
yeah. As soon as
I feel like
get to the point to where I'm not happy and I feel like I'm overworked and there's not a spot for me in this fishing world anymore, will be the day that I say, okay, well, I'm done. But I want to continue guiding no matter if tournaments are in my future or not. I do
yeah.
know I have a future doing what I'm doing right now.
Well, and we don't know really what's going to come with tournament fishing. It takes a lot of our time. I know that it kind of robs us away from the things we really should be focusing on. They say you can't do both. I tiptoe. I feel like we tournament fish mainly for our sponsors so that we can, still have that incredible drive. It forces us to be going out there. Um, and that creates content for us. Plus, once we're out there, I almost feel like it's the break that we need from all this crap that goes on every day. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, there's a lot of crap that goes on in a day, especially when you work in the social media world. It's sometimes it gets old. The flush even of ICAST stuff. After you get home, your brain is so shot from all of that. You don't even. I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't really want to see it all. You do, but you don't
Mhm.
because it is a job for us. I enjoy some of the things, but I think that sometimes it gets to be overwhelming, and then that's really where you just want to go fish. I feel
Amen
like
to
we're
that.
always
I hated not being there because, I got a lot of partnerships that support me 1,000%, and they have been there for me for a long time. And I
yeah,
really wanted to be there for them. But like I said earlier, if something's not bringing me happiness or a lot of things are going on in my life, sometimes you got to step back and
yeah,
you'll know who really supports you if they support your decision or not.
yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
mean that you're not coming back. It just means, guess what? I love me. I love how I feel. I got to take care of me. I want to come back stronger than ever with a whole different mindset and just knowing what I want and knowing that I want to go for it.
It
And
was so
so,
much
I
easier
really
being
hated not being there for people, for my
right.
partnerships. But I can learn from you, both of you guys, what was there, and I get to see it. So it's almost like I was there because I'm seeing the same stuff over and over again on social media right now. So I get exactly what you're saying, a
Yeah,
1,000%.
I know. I don't know. I'm glad that we do. I agree. We're super fortunate to get to do all this stuff, but you can't get there without trying. You do have to try.
Amen
And
to that. I think that's
if
the first
anybody gives
step.
us a hard time at any point, I'm venturing to guess that they probably most likely did not, put in the kind of effort that it needs. And maybe, you have to keep trying, keep going for it. I don't know. Hopefully everybody gets their chance. If you work hard enough, I think you know, maybe
Exactly.
you'll
But
get
I've
some.
had to learn, this whole little step back situation and I wrote this in a post the other day that I'm not what I do. I'm not fishing. That's not who I am. That is what I love, but it's not who I am. So, if you feel like you're a nobody when you're not doing what you love, then you probably need to go work on yourself a little bit and
Yeah.
figure out who you are. And then, then come back later. But I just think family needs to come first. That needs to be the first thing for me right at this second. And that's what it's going to be. Whether I lose followers, whether I lose support, whatever, my family's going to come first.
Yeah.
So,
Now, I do have a question because when
Mhm.
we were down at ICAST, we were able to go and do a little fishing, and Jen and Dustin saw their first gator in person. So, do
mhm.
you have a crazy gator story?
No, not really. I see them all the time. I'll see 12 to 14 footers all the time. I mean, They don't want anything to do with us. They pretty much go the opposite direction most of the time. I do have one. I'm over in Five Fingers. There's a little creek that comes off of Five Fingers, and I'm going around the corner, and the creek's about as wide as the boat, really. And I go around this little bend, and all of a sudden I hear, and this is gonna sound stupid, y'all, so don't laugh too much. It goes roar like that. And I'm like, do what? And it took me 2 seconds to turn around that big boat in there. And all of a sudden I hear it again. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I mean, it
No.
scared the mess out of me because I could almost touch that thing.
We are
And
pretty
this
sure
is called bellowing, I think is what it's called. You know, it's freaking nuts. Like they
Yeah.
sound it
scary.
sounded like I was in Jurassic Park.
It's
I ain't gonna
scary.
lie.
It's scary. It's scary. We thought every noise was an alligator at this point. When we went to the spillway, they said it. I didn't know where it was at, so I just shot back up to the top because I didn't know where it was at. So
Well, if a fish jumps, you think there's a gator somewhere. So you're like looking around like, okay, where are you at? You know, you're standing close to shore, and it's like the only way to
it
fish is
was
get
really
close to shore. And it's
unnerving
just like,
to be that
all right,
close.
we'll fish for a bit, and I'm going to back up and check things out.
I got snagged. I lost one of Colin's lures, and I was like, man, I can't lose Colin's lure. You know, like I had to go get it. So I kind of went out.
They
He's
have
like,
monkeys in Florida.
What?
what?
They have monkeys. Okay, so we're at St. John's last year, right before the hurricane hit, and literally, my roommate said he saw a monkey swinging from one tree to another tree, and then I started asking around, and they do have monkeys around there. And either if people are lying to me, a whole bunch of people are lying. I don't know. We may want to Google it, but not like big monkeys or anything, but monkeys.
Well,
Like
So Jerry,
we
if
have
you're still on here, does Florida still have, or does Florida have monkeys? So that's the
I'm
person.
telling you, look around St. John's. Like,
Yeah.
Google it real quick. So, anybody on here, tell us if y'all really have monkeys or not, because I was told y'all do. And then I was told somebody was throwing a frog and a monkey jumped out of the tree and grabbed it. Wild monkeys, see? And
Yeah.
Colin
See,
just specifically left the monkey part off so we'd actually go with him, you know?
yeah, well, some of those noises I was hearing down there, like,
yeah.
I don't know. It could be
Hunter
possible.
says that they have wild monkeys in Naples.
It's nuts to me.
So,
I think
yeah.
monkeys are cute, but what if one came and jumped in your boat? Like,
What?
Scared. She's scared of monkeys coming on her boat.
Monkey swings down.
you know, I mean, I'm just saying, like, what would you do?
Run.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'd probably do? Oh, here's some food. Come here, cute little thing.
Yeah.
How about I make
make
you
sure
into
you
a
have your
pet and you
camera
can ride
going.
on my shoulder, and then I will definitely go viral. That's how that would go.
I
Yep.
know there'd be some holes in my boat, just to say.
Yeah.
That is, I've never even thought about monkeys.
Yeah, it's just the stuff
haven't
that you
seen
see
them.
out there. Some of the things you're just like, wow, you know.
Well,
Oh yeah,
and
so I keep a
winters-
banana in my boat a lot of times, and I don't tell people because they freak out. So I'd
Yeah.
probably
Everyone
hand it
freak
a
out.
banana. That's how I would make it my pet, is by the banana.
Just throw them the banana.
Yeah,
No, that's good.
just give them a
Okay.
banana. They'll love me forever after that.
So Hunter, well, I don't know if this is Hunter or if this is Jerry, but says the state has a small population and they are mostly from zoo escapes. So
Apparently, it
What
doesn't
else
matter.
says escape from the zoo, Hunter?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like, I would like to know that the next time before I go down there. What else says escape?
so
It's
but
good.
Stephanie, I did not tell them about the pythons either while we was down there fishing.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
I knew they were there, but I had nowhere.
You guys, Google has been listening to our conversation for weeks and it's been showing all kinds of stuff. I was scared of my shadow the whole time I was there. I did go get Colin's lure, but we had to leave it. I didn't get it out. Like, I gave it a good effort, try, and he's like, do not put your hands in the water. And then I'm like, do you want to try? So Colin came around and gave it in, and pretty soon he broke it off. So we did leave a lure at the spillway.
Iguanas?
Yeah.
What's the next thing that somebody's saying?
Yeah.
Iguanas.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Right.
that's something I wouldn't be cool with. Okay, they're kind of little creepy.
Well, Jen got a
You know
picture
that
of a
they
basilisk, the ones that run on the water.
It had a
Yeah.
neck.
Yeah, she found one of those that would run across water.
It had a neck thing. But I didn't get too close because I was afraid it was going to come at me and I didn't know where to run to behind me. So I didn't get that close.
Wow.
I zoomed up because I didn't know what it would do. So, I mean, I don't know if people have, tried to feed them or if they're going to, do they come at you? I don't know. I have bad luck with things trying to bite me. So,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to try
We
it.
just have to look out for rattlesnakes. That's it. We're not used to that Florida stuff. Like everything can eat you.
Yeah. So they say they have panthers and mountain lions. We do here in Texas too. So that I don't know. Those I'm not too worried about those as much as I am, I don't know, the other
You know,
stuff.
one thing we were talking to Dennis Crenshaw, and he told us we were at his house, and he said that he had a black bear come down his road in Central Florida, and it floored both Dustin and I when he told us that.
I didn't know they had them.
So
We get
Freaking
crazy
wild
stuff
out
here.
there is what I'm telling y'all.
We have moose and elk, and they're not really friendly. They look beautiful, but they'll chase you down and hurt
The
you.
moose came from Yellowstone. They're just lost.
They're starting to come down. We were right in the center of the United States, so they're kind of coming down from Wyoming, Colorado. So we're starting to get different species here. They're starting to release where you can do a full elk hunt or get a moose tag, but you have to draw for it, like it's a specialty draw or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, hunters
Plus the
saying
black bears. Yeah, I knew about the whole black bear situation because the Airbnb that we stayed at down there, it said watch out for black bears. I never
oh
saw
wow,
one though.
I had no idea. I might have not even. Well, see, Colin, you liar.
I mean, I would not think we have black bears here in East Tennessee, but I associate it with the mountains and
Not at the lake,
the
not the park Yogi
Florida
Bear.
is far from a mountain. So it's just like the mountain lions. Why would they call it mountain lions?
No.
Mountains. So
As soon as we left, there was a local there fishing that spillway, and he told us there was an alligator that reached from one side of the road to the other, and I was like, "That's it." He said it stretched all the way. It was a 2-lane road, and he said, and the wife or the gal that was there, she didn't even get out of the car. So I was pretty sure that was the truth. She never even got out. She didn't get out.
she said, "Not me, not today." So
No.
we've had you on here for almost an hour and 20 minutes, and don't want to hold up any more of your time. So well, I do have one question, but I want to give Jen and Dustin the last chance to be able to ask a question if they have a question.
Okay.
I put them on the spot.
That's okay. If you had to pick one of the platforms that you want people to follow you on, just one, what are you going to pick? Where do you think
Facebook.
your Facebook? And tell us why. Tell us why. You
To
think
me,
it's
they push my
better?
content a lot more. TikTok has changed a lot since this is when I saw it. You remember when it was supposed to go down and we were all going to lose our TikToks?
It
My
lost
TikTok
it.
has never been the same since.
Neither
Ever.
has ours. Never.
Yeah, so I kind
Maybe I'll
of
try.
given up on that on the TikTok situation, but yeah, Facebook they push a lot of my stuff, and I get really good views there,
What is it?
and that's the reason being, and I think it's also a lot more of our age group too that's there as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all ages. Like I want all ages to follow everybody. I'm not down nobody, but that's kind of how I feel about that. It's just
I agree.
I like it a lot more. I mean, you're able to put pictures, you're able to put your thoughts, you're able to put videos, and eventually they will start pushing those a whole lot, and they will tell you on there, well, you're up 135% this week. We're going to start pushing your content more, and they do. They actually do
They
that.
definitely do
So
it.
I think, Facebook's not out of it. So if you don't pay attention to that, maybe you need to start because I'm going to tell you right now, they are pushing a lot of content.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like we push most of ours through Facebook. Plus, now we get paid on Facebook. Facebook's still telling, but don't don't be surprised. Facebook still is crooked as the rest. They have some issues. You can tell,
Oh, yeah.
as soon as we had because we got the picture with
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey, as
Yeah.
soon as it did that, it told me now that it's going to pay me next month instead of this month because that post went wild crazy. And so instead, they mess with it so much. You can tell that they still have full control. But as far as getting your views out and pushing out content, Facebook's your place. So I'm just trying to find out if people were to follow you, the best place to get the most bang for the buck is going to be Facebook.
Yeah, probably there. And I also try to like everything that people put on there, or at least try to comment back. If I am slow, it's probably because I'm on the water or something. But if you have any questions about fishing or about anything in general, just please send me a message. I will get back to you. I promise. It may take me a minute, but I will. I absolutely love talking about fishing any day of the week, no matter what gender you are. And because like I said before, it doesn't matter. Do I want to see more women in the sport? Absolutely. And if we can help each other get to where we need to be, let's do that. Let's support each other.
Yep.
And if you can learn from my mistakes, then great. You can make it that much further than me, and I will freaking be there be a cheerleader back there for you, because I just, at the end of the day, I want us to see what I know that we can actually do, because there's somebody out there, actually a lot, that are very capable of doing amazing things.
I
Yeah.
think
And that's kind of how I want to end that part right there. So
that's good. Yeah.
I totally agree. And the thing is that I appreciate from you, Stephanie and Jen, is they're always a phone call or a text message or whatever away to where even like if I have questions and stuff that I've always been able to go and ask questions, and I've seen that y'all been pretty. I mean, I know y'all have got daily stuff going on in life, but I mean, you answer, and that's like when I sent you a message about coming on the podcast. I mean, it was you answer it. To be honest with you, it surprised me how quick you did answer, because I've been waiting on some still for 3 years that I've been trying to get on here. But
I do want to help people. I'm with you. I want to help people. I take the time out. Sometimes I think men are a little less apprehensive because I'm a lady, and they're like, you know what? Maybe less to ask another man because maybe he felt like, he just didn't want to ask another dude. They'll come to us. They come to me and they ask me questions, and I tell them what I know. And they ask. I mean, I think I finally get they're like, oh, she really does fish. She does know what she's talking about.
Well, me and Stanford when we had a radio interview. A random lady came around the corner. She's like, "Thanks for what you do for women in the outdoors."
That was all we're
You don't notice it's what you do, but then it's those little things that help you and know that you are doing a good job.
And I think
helping out.
any woman, anybody can do this. I really believe.
yeah, anybody. But a lot of this also starts at home, dads. It starts at home. I mean, it does. Moms too. If you can teach your daughter or son how to fish, it starts at home. You got to have them grounded. You got to teach them to go for their dreams and to work really hard at it, because nothing comes easy without work. It just really doesn't. You'll see people every so often that maybe didn't have to work hard for something, but the majority of us have to really work hard. And that all starts at home with family at home.
Yeah.
So teach your kids that.
Yeah, for sure. Matt Dillon is messaging me.
He's done. He knows it's over.
Yeah, I was going to get to it, Matt. I hadn't forgot. I do want to talk, Stephanie, real quick about Bass Hub, because I think it is awesome, and
It is coming back, by the way. We are bringing it back.
So,
but
it is guys, if you don't know, it's another little podcast, and so a lot of information is getting spread out through that platform as well. So we want to push it as well. But with that being said, I have one last question for you, and then we're going to end it. But okay. Stephanie, if you could have one person in your boat for one day, could be passed away or still with us, who would that be, and why would you want them on your boat?
My grandfather. He passed away fishing, in 2010, a heat stroke, and he was my favorite fishing partner I've ever had. And, still to this day, I can remember everything he's ever said to me, and to go out there and work hard and don't listen to the noise around you. And if was here today to see what I'm doing today, I can guarantee he'd probably have a huge smile on his face. Like I said before, do I do everything perfect? No. Do I live my life absolutely perfect? No. But you know what? He gave me the tools to do what I need to do along with my dad. And I would absolutely love to have him in my boat one more time.
Yeah.
It would absolutely it would be life changing for me.
That is
but
amazing.
I get to see him up there one day. So
One day.
It's all good.
And to kind of not go on a little rant about it, but my grandfather, both of my grandparents or grandfathers, somebody finally asked me that, and I never even thought about it. I've asked it for 3.5 years on the podcast. That's our last question. And, probably 90% of the people will say their grandfather or some grandfather, grandmother, or something like that. And I was thinking about it. Somebody asked me, and I told them, I was like, because for them to see the technology and the baits and stuff that we use now, they would be flabbergasted of how we go about catching fish, because it is totally different than when it was when they were out fishing. So.
Yeah, it is, but there's so much of what they know that we still can use today. You got to have a core before you ever start doing this. You got to know how to fish before you ever start doing this. And who better to learn than the people that's been doing it forever?
Yeah.
We add what we want to it after we learn. We start picking up everything around us after we know how to fish. That's your core. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, if your grandparents are still alive and they fish, learn from them. Learn from these old timers, and don't have idols. Idols are not real. You can look up to people, but there should never be an idol. They're not real. But, you can look up to people. You can. That's okay. But, thank you guys for having me on here. I really appreciate it. I'll absolutely love y'all's platform. It's amazing. Jennifer, you're a badass. So is your husband over here. Y'all, I watch everything y'all do. I definitely look up to you guys very, very much so. To me, there's not there's a difference in between kayaks and boats, but at the end of the day, we're both trying to do the same exact thing.
I agree.
So everybody keep your head up and just keep moving forward. I always say, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Well, guys, again, if you do not follow Stephanie, her links, I've put them in the description, so made it easy for you just to go and click on, especially on that Facebook one. So make sure you go check them out. Follow her and her journey in fishing with guiding, and especially next year when she starts hitting that tournament trail again. Make sure you send some good vibes out to her and some positive notes, because when you're out on that road, it kind of gets lonely when it's just you and the pillow. So
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
but everybody listening, hey, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate everybody so much, and God bless, and we'll be seeing y'all again soon, I hope.
That's a perfect way to end it. We're getting out of here.
Okay, bye,
Thank
you guys.
You so much, Stephanie.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.